some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, well, I don't wanna jinx it, baby, and twist myself at the spine. Don't wanna overthink it, baby. It's just twist your body and mine. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, but I don't wanna jinx it, baby. Let's not get ahead of my time. Oh, but I don't wanna miss you, baby. So I stand up and speak just my mind. Oh. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire.
The following is a presentation of the Come On In Sports Network. The following is a presentation of
with your host, Golf 17.
In Sports Network.
With your host, Golf 17.
Family, how you doing? Come on in. I want to welcome everybody to your Sports Juice of the Day. I'm your host, Golf 17. Listen, family, I hope everybody's had a great day. Listen, we got a special guest in the building. He's in the back. He's here. He's ready. And we want to give a big welcome to Mr. Cody Tanner. That's right, Cody Tanner. Listen, he's from that city, baby. He represents that steel city, baby, that black and that yellow, that steel curtain, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here's the host of Steelers by the Lake, the one and only, Mr. Cody Tanner. Cody, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Let me get this out the way. All right. Well, we got to, what's going on in my background? Let's see. Give me 1 second now.
of the Come
I got you. I got it. Let's see. Yeah, bam. There we go. We rocking and rolling now, man. Appreciate you. Yes, sir, man. Listen, Cody, I'll let you know I appreciate you being here, man. Great night. Listen, man, let's get down to it, man. Listen, first of all, I'm hearing rumbles and I'm gonna ask you, is it true that there's a chance that Mike Tomlin possibly won't be back with the Steelers next season? Is that a
No,
no? Thank you, thank you.
no, there's no
I
chance
think
that happens.
that's what I was saying. I'm like, there's no way in hell you get rid of one of the greatest coaches in the history of the National Football League. In my opinion, the man's never had a losing season, and
Nope.
what he pulled off last year with what he was working with, and again this year, man, proves to me he is one of the greatest coaches ever to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's almost frustrating for us Steelers fans. I mean, we
right,
we we can't get a bad year. Not that I want a bad year, but so many teams, when they have off seasons, they go below 500. They're a
right,
top 5 draft pick. They get to pick up a new quarterback. Obviously, we have Kenny Pickett. I haven't lost faith in him yet. But man, Mike Tomlin can coach a bad situation to stay above 500 every time. And
right.
we're always on the bubble of like the top 20, top 25 draft picks every year. It's just rough. But hopefully with the draft last year, I mean, I think we're one of the only teams that kept all of our draft picks on either active roster or immediate like practice squad. So
Okay.
it's crazy to see what's going on. But Mike Tomlin's fantastic. And especially I think if you didn't see the move that happened last week with them removing
Yes,
Matt
yes,
Canada and then
yes.
having the 400-yard pass or 400-yard game for the first time in 59 games, then there's a conversation. I still don't see it happening. Pittsburgh is very loyal, and the Rooney family is very loyal, and that I think that decision honestly came from Mike Tomlin. Um, just seeing the fans. I think it was more of a fan thing than anything. They'll blame it on whatever.
Hmm.
But when you have the amount of fans chanting "Fire Canada" at sports events that aren't even NFL
Wow.
games, it's crazy.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy, man. I mean, is it something to it? I mean, as soon as he departs, pick what the offense has one of its most explosive days in what the last 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, and
No, it's been 4 years. I mean,
four
it's been
years. Wow,
59 games. So
since
you
the
think if
Steelers
there's
had 400 yards in the game.
59 games, and every
Wow.
other team has done it 3 or 4 times since then.
Right. Now, earlier you said that you weren't giving up on Kenny Pickett.
No.
From the outside looking in and looking at Pickett, man. To me, I think the Steelers need another quarterback. I think Pickett is not that guy. I understand he's young, but I think we're pretty much seeing his ceiling now. With a new offensive coordinator, hopefully we can see him improve and be that franchise quarterback for many, many years. But are there many that feel the way you feel, or is still the nation kind of split on Pickett right now?
From my understanding and from our fan base and even my friend group, almost everywhere I look, it's split pretty even 50-50.
Okay.
Some people think that, just like you said, we're looking at the ceiling now, or we saw the ceiling at the end of last season when he led the late comeback against the Ravens and,
Right.
gave us, kept us 500 and all this stuff. But I think a lot of the fans that still have faith in him are more the fans that are like me that
Right.
believe, I mean, it speaks volumes, the fact that you get rid of Matt Canada and my
Bam.
co-host and I, James Strong is the other guy on my podcast. We immediately throw over the field to the tight ends. I mean, Pat Fryermuth led the league in receiving yards last week with 120.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
can't
tight end.
argue
Yes.
that. I mean,
Nine
that's what
catches.
we've been he had 9 receptions in that game. Let me tell you something. I realize he's been hurt. He was on IR for a little bit. Excuse me. I don't remember if he was on IR or not, but he was injured for a little bit. He's had 9 receptions the whole season, and then he just doubled it
Wow.
in one game. I mean, when you get the right play calls in there, when you get the right things going, he has the Kenny Pickett has the longest active streak in the NFL of not committing a turnover in pass attempts. So that's fantastic. He's not turning the ball over. We want to see more touchdowns scored, but the yardage is there now. If we can just get drives that end in 6 instead of 3 or punts, we're
Right.
going to do fantastic.
Right. And I applaud the Steelers for seeing there was a problem with the play calling and doing something about it, not continuing to hit their head against a wall and looking for different results, because my team was black and gold and we are stuck with a dysfunctional over his head coach and a offensive
Mhm.
coordinator that straight up stinks, sucks, and I'm being kind right now. There are other words I can use, but I'm not. It's been a good
Yep.
day so far. But man, Tomlin recently just the other day was talking about the reigning defensive player of the year. Now the offense has been struggling, but it's been the Steelers defense that has held the fort down for you guys and have you guys in the position you're in now. And looking at watch stats right now, man, 13 and a half sacks.
Yep.
He's tied with
Is it Hunter?
Daniel Hunter, yeah. Who actually Hunter's played one more game than him. He has what 25 quarterback hits, 12 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, 3 recoveries, 6 passes defended, and an interception. The kid's just picking up right where he left off last year.
Yep. That's what he does.
How special is this kid, man? Right now, I feel like he goes down as one of the greatest defensive players, and all around players, regardless of side of the ball position in Steelers history.
Yeah, I mean, it's even NFL history. I mean, he's
Right,
comparing to stats right now with Reggie White. Now he's not going to compete with Reggie White as far
right,
as how quickly Reggie White got to 100 sacks in his career is just insane.
right.
But I believe that he is making. I think at this point, if he retired sooner or later, I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Right.
But I think he's guaranteed Hall of Fame at this point with how fast he's gotten to the sack totals that he's at. He's right on pace with his brother. And I just saw that comment you pulled up, since 1972, that's 20 years before I was even born. So I haven't been a fan quite as long as your dad, but we appreciate the love.
Right.
TJ Watt is just an animal of his own. And quite frankly, he makes everyone around him better.
Gotcha.
And seeing the progression that we've even seen from Alex Highsmith on the other side, Nick
Right.
Herbig, the rookie, got a sack this week. He just makes everyone around him better, and he calls for the double teams all the time. Now, you're going to hear a lot of the comparisons, and I'm actually curious to see what you say as a Saints fan. What is the comparison? But when people think about, there's 3 guys that come to mind when I think of best defensive player in the year, especially on the defensive front. It's
Mhm.
TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Aaron Donald. Those are the 3 I always think of.
Right.
And I feel like
Um,
the difference, and I don't know if you know this or not, because some people that aren't in our division don't know this. Myles Garrett changes sides during a game
yes.
or every game to
Yes.
go against a weaker offensive lineman.
Right. Which is smart.
It's smart.
It's smart. But I understand where you're getting at, where you're going. Um, and one person I think I'll put on that list too plays in Kansas City.
That's fair.
And he came back and you see the difference. They definitely missed him. But man, I can't argue with everyone on that list. Aaron Donald, many might say, well, Aaron Donald's having a down year. Listen,
He's getting triple teamed every
he's
play.
getting triple team every play. Nobody else getting home.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I got to agree with you, man. Those are some of the top players at their position right now. And also, man, listen, there's a kid in Dallas, who gives me Lawrence Taylor vibes, man. He's that special where I think that kid can wreck a game. I
Mhm.
think he can totally wreck a game. I mean, him, Watt, Donald, you got Myles Garrett, Daniel Hunter. Again, he's having a great season. When a lot of people thought he kind of would be on the trade block or that his season was over with. Getting back to the Steelers though, man, your running back room.
Najee Harris and
Najee,
Jalen Warren.
yeah, Jalen Warren, man. What a big how pleasant of a surprise has he been to give you guys one of the better 1-2 punches in the league. Now seemingly that Najee Harris has gotten into a rhythm for this season.
Yeah. I think a lot of the offensive play calling again, and I think this almost was a scheme issue with how they were designing their blocking formations and how they were blocking. You could open up a small hole and Jalen Warren could get through that, and he'd get through it
Right.
with power and speed. We saw that all through the Matt Canada era last year and this year. Jalen Warren had success, especially this year with, that massive 75-yard run. We got to see that. I don't think they changed their blocking schemes when they blocked for Najee. You cannot open up the same style of holes and expect him to get yards downfield. Now he's a big guy. He'll fall forward and gain 3 yards. But however they were blocking, he was getting hit behind the back in the backfield, 5 of the 10 carries he got. And so you just had to expect them to do something different. And I felt like they did that this past game. He had 100 yards. Unfortunately, his last play, he actually got tackled for a loss of 1. He ended with 99 yards. But that was drastically one of his best performances that we've seen so far. And the Steelers defense, or Steelers offense, has put up 150 rushing yards or more in the last 2 or 3 games, if I'm not mistaken, minus this last one. I don't think we had 150. But we were struggling to get 100 yards rushing the entire first half of this season. So I love Jaylen Warren. I think that he is going to cement his name somewhere. I'm hoping we keep him, quite frankly, but we're not going to be able to afford to pay him and Najee. And unfortunately, I don't think Najee may ever get a good payday in the NFL, just for the fact that Pittsburgh's going to pick up the 5th-year option on him more than likely, depending on the success of Jaylen Warren. And then at that point, I think he's going to be 29 or 30 when he winds up hitting the open market. So,
all right. Well, before I let you get out of here, and again, I want to thank you for being here, my brother, giving us some of your time. Looking at the current playoff standings in the AFC, this week you guys have a trap game against the Cardinals. Everyone wants to look over the Cardinals, but I'm gonna tell you this: the Cardinals are one of the hardest and best 2-8, 2-9 teams. Well, the 2-10 teams. They play hard, man. They play hard, and if you're not careful, they'll knock you off. Ask Dallas.
Yeah. So the only thing we have going for us in that game is their wide receiver room's a little banged up, and so is their secondary. I think they had 3 defensive backs, starting defensive backs, not practice today at all. So there's a benefit there. Marquise Brown also did not practice today. So there's a chance with that, but Kyler Murray's back. How well can he play? We know how well James Conner can play when he's having a good game. We saw that in Pittsburgh for a good time.
Yeah. He gonna be motivated.
He will. He will definitely
be motivated.
Yeah, the guy that I do the Steelers by the Lake podcast with, we're both from the same city that James Conner was drafted from. So he's a hometown boy. We're rooting for him. We want him to have a good game, but we want them to lose.
Gotcha. Well, Cody, again, my brother, thank you for being here. But before you get out of here, please let everybody know where they can find you on social media and YouTube and everywhere else your platform is.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and the Pro Sports Fans app. You guys are more than welcome to follow, like, subscribe, and just chat with us about football. We appreciate all that stuff on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. We're all across the board. So I appreciate you having me on here, Dolph. And
hey, man, listen, Cody, your family, bro, you're welcome back anytime. Listen, man, we actually have a pregame show we do every Sunday morning, man, at 10:05 a.m. Central Time. Listen, when you guys, listen, I expect you guys to be in the playoffs. So that Saturday or Sunday before your wild card game, man, if you're able to, man, jump on with us, man, and give us the pulse of the Steeler Nation.
Hey, absolutely. I look forward to it, man.
Same here, my brother. You have a good evening. Once again, thank you for being here.
You too, man. God bless.
All right. God bless, my brother. Have a good one. All right, family. That was Mr. Cody Tanner of Steelers by the Lake podcast. Everybody go give him a follow, man. Him and his co-host James, they do a great job over there, man. Well, family, we're not done. Right now, family, we're about to bring on a gentleman whose team resides in the NFC East. They already have their quarterback of the future. He leads the National Football League in passing. They got tired of their defensive coordinator. They fired him. They got him out of here. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, from On the Wall podcast, let's welcome Corey. Corey, how you doing? Come on,
doing good. Doing good. Thanks for having me, Dolph. I appreciate that intro. I knew it was going to be good.
Thanks for being here, baby. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. Man, talk to your boy, though, bro. Let me know, bro. Let us know, man. Man, we're hearing rumblings about Ron Rivera. He fired Del Rio. He's now taking over the defense. If this team doesn't finish 89 or 9-8, is Rivera out?
Yeah, he's out. He's out in general. We'd have to have it had to be a miracle. It's really spitting in one hand and crapping in the other hand and putting them together to see if they can get it. A murderer's row coming up this week against Miami. Then we're at the Rams, at the Jets, home on Christmas Eve for the 49ers, and then Dallas. But we do have a bye week in between this weekend and against the Rams. So it's going to be a rough line to toe for my boys. I just don't see it practical that Ron Rivera comes out shiny on the end of this. I think it's going to be a major overhaul. I think everybody is gone on that coaching staff. I think the key cards won't even work on Friday, January 6th, because they just going to say, you know what? Thank you, Ron, for all your time. You and your people, y'all find new jobs. The key cards ain't going to work on Monday, January 9th.
Wow. And man, I just pulled up your home. I guess these are your remaining games at home, I believe. Let me see. Hold on, let me get it. Let me switch it. Let's see. I got
Yeah. That's the home games right there.
My God, you got the Dolphins, the 49ers, and the boys once again.
Whew.
Now, if you were watching that game on Thanksgiving in the fourth quarter, man, it was a 10. It was you only down 10, and then it's like the bottom fell out, man. And
the bottom fell. The boards came undone. I mean, it was ugly, man. It was ugly, and it could have been uglier. It could have been uglier, but we held on with Elmer's glue and a little bit of Scotch tape, and just held on to a little bit of hope. But it was a shellacking, to say the least.
Right, man. So let me ask you this, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Howell, when Sam Howell came out, man, when you guys drafted Sam, y'all got Sam in the fourth or fifth round?
Fifth round. We got him in the fifth round. Yep.
What I been telling a lot of my family members, because I love Sam Howell. If he'd have came out his junior year,
he'd been top pick.
He'd have been the top pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now what happened was all the studs he had, they left and went to the league. But if you still look at his stats, they weren't that off. They weren't that far off from his previous season, his junior season.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing was, how in the world did this kid go from probably being the number one pick in the draft to going in the fifth round, man? And when he was sitting there, I ain't gonna lie, I was praying the Saints get him, but they didn't. But listen, y'all got a steal, man. Then you bring in Eric Bieniemy this year as the offensive coordinator. Many feel that but as you say, when Ron Rivera is let go, that Bieniemy most likely will be the guy for the job. So in the nation's capital, is that the feeling from the beat writers who cover the team? Is that the feeling, the message that you are getting, or do you think they'll do a thorough search for the next head coach?
I think they're gonna do a thorough search for the next head coach. I think that the media was already writing a narrative on Bieniemy, whether it was fair or whether it was unfair, about, this was the only place that wanted Bieniemy, right? But it was the end of the season, the Super Bowl. So I don't know if that's fair to Bieniemy, because he has done and I've been a critic of Bieniemy, but I think he's done a lot of good. I have a lot of questions about his situational football, whether it's like 3rd and 1, you run out of the shotgun. I think his pass happy offense, sometimes that doesn't breed Kendrick, especially playing against teams like the Dallas Cowboys, who are gangbusters when it comes to picking off people. Like Deron Bland's got 6 pick sixes this season. It's insane. It's like Madden numbers. But so you would think you want to establish the run with your running backs. Like you got Brian Robinson Jr., Antonio Gibson, who's more of a space eater in the short pass game. But it's just that cohesion that I don't think has been there. Now, Sam has developed. And, to the point about Sam Howell, too, is Sam makes boneheaded turnovers. He'll make boneheaded throws. I think we saw that against Buffalo. I think we've seen that a couple of times against the Eagles.
Hell, Josh Allen do it too. So
yeah, Josh Allen's done it. And it's just like it causes you to pause. And then he's a smaller frame quarterback too.
Right.
And it looks like they thought that type of play wasn't going to translate to the NFL, but he's been pretty good. Knock on wood, he's been healthy for the most part. And then he's got his receivers too that he's been able to distribute the ball to. So I don't think Bieniemy's the guy, and that's unfortunate because I think if this was 3 years ago, if this was 4
Right.
years ago, I thought he was the top candidate to come to Washington. But thankfully, things have changed over new ownership and everything. So I think they're going to do everything the right way,
Right.
and it's going to be examined.
And man, it's funny that you say that about Bieniemy
Mhm.
because in my neck of the woods, they are craving for Bieniemy. Matter of fact, before they made the colossal mistake they did by hiring Dennis Allen, they had Bieniemy here for 8 hours before they hired Dennis Allen. So let everybody know the shortcomings, if you don't mind. I know it'd probably be repeated, but some
Mhm.
things you said that you've seen from Bieniemy that you think um is holding the team back from success. I heard you say something about he's too pass heavy. He's pass heavy.
Yeah, I think we've got one of the highest pass to run ratios. And, people will say, you kind of look at it and they'll say, well, some of these short passes are makeshift runs. I said, but that takes away the physicality. If I want my running back, if I'm going to run the ball, I want to run it up the gut. I want to get it
Right.
to that second and third level. I want the linebackers to feel it. I want those safeties to feel it. And I don't think we've ever established a running game outside of probably maybe the second Giants game. We kind of
Okay.
established a run a little bit more, and that, and then in Dallas, I think we kind of tried to establish the run until it got a little too late.
Right.
And then, situationally, I think some of his play calling can be questionable. Like I said, formations and like running a shotgun, a delayed inside run on 3rd and 1 instead of lining up and you got a fullback and just hitting the hay on it. Those things like that. And I do think that he was kind of in a situation that he came in here. He knew this was his opportunity to showcase himself as a head coaching candidate. Ron Rivera was in a lame duck season. It
Hmm.
is in a lame duck season, and
Right.
he needs somebody to make this offense go. And I think it just blew up in both people's face.
Is there anybody that that is rumored to be maybe a top candidate of the new
Mhm.
ownership?
They haven't had any names, but I imagine they'll get a general manager in here, and then hopefully like one of these top candidates will come in here. You've heard Ben Johnson from
Yes.
the
Yeah.
Lions.
Everybody wants Ben. Yeah.
That causes me to want to go away from Ben Johnson,
Right.
to be
Gotcha.
honest with you. And it's kind of like how I bet my money sometimes. If all the public's going towards him, I'm probably going to bet the other way. Um, I like Brian Johnson up there in
Okay.
Philadelphia, the offense
Okay.
coordinator,
Right.
who's had a track record of developing quarterbacks. You look at Jalen Hurts. He was I think he was the quarterbacks coach at Mississippi State when Dak Prescott was there. So this is
Okay.
a guy who knows how to develop quarterbacks. Brian Flores is up there in Minnesota. If you want a defensive minded coach, and give
Yeah.
him a second opportunity to be a head coach in this league, because we know while Mike McDaniel's done some great things in Miami, the blueprint was set forth by Brian Flores.
Right.
So yeah, I look at some of those guys. I look at Dan Quinn in the NFC East too. Give him a second opportunity to maybe be a head coach in this league, because this Dallas defense, is a force to be reckoned with, man. And those are some of the coaches I'm looking at. We really haven't heard the names and everything, but I think
Hmm.
that Josh Harris's group, they're going to do it the right way. Hire general manager or VP of
Right.
football operations, then get the head coach in here,
Right.
and it'll go quick though.
Right. And with as far as I'm skeptical with Dan Quinn.
Mhm.
He had his chance before, and something I'm under this impression.
Mhm.
Not everyone is built to be a head coach. Some
Facts.
people are just better as coordinators in the background. Some people are not fit to oversee the entire operation.
Dennis Allen.
Man, listen, man, look, we will pay to get this man out of here. You know? But I'm a realist though. Now,
Yeah.
there you got maybe 75% or 65% of who that nation that wants the Saints just to lose every game just to get him out of here. But me, I say the last one, I'm gonna keep saying it. I don't care if they're 89 or 98 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Come wild card weekend, Saturday or Sunday, I damn sure want to see the Saints playing.
That's right.
I don't care what happened after that. You can still fire them, still get rid of them.
That's right. You're right.
You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna get rid of Dennis Allen. Most likely, what they're gonna do, I think they're gonna make changes at the coordinator position and other positions offensively. And we need to eat the money that we gave Derek Carr because he sucks. Plain and simple, the man sucks.
Thank you.
The man sucks.
Thank you for saying that.
Listen, man, he sucks.
He's terrible.
To me, the man is still in his feelings. He cannot get over what happened to him with the Raiders. He's sulking, and we ain't got time for that down here. He's brought that loser mentality in here with him. We already hired Dennis Allen. Sean Payton's going out the door. He suggests Dennis Allen. They do a fake search like they were really doing the damn search for a head coach. They weren't. They knew they was gonna hire Dennis Allen. But why the hell you keep Eric Bieniemy 8 hours? But that's for another day because we all were like flabbergasted by that. But 2 years, man, the man's not getting better. The team's not getting better. You come off your bye week and you listen, Derek Carr has not, and shouts out to my brother, still the same podcast as TJ Jones for bringing this to my attention and all our attention. Corey, this man has not thrown a touchdown. Listen, the man did not throw a touchdown so far. Well, we about to be in December, so he did not throw a touchdown in the entire month of November, at least till a Saints played through one last week to the Falcons, but and then after that, this clown has the audacity to go and congratulate Bates, not after the game, during the game after he just ran it back. Man, that's it, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I think we'll have to eat about $30-40 million. Eat it. This dude is not the answer. He has to go. Dennis Allen has to go. And Pete Carmichael, good Lord.
He's nothing without Sean Payton.
Listen, the man, and that's what's so disappointing to a lot of us, man, because when Peyton was out with his when he got his leg broke and when he was out the entire year, listen, we're not stupid. We knew we had a Hall of Famer under center that hit a lot of wrongs with this team. Hold on? What'd you say? No, he is not, though. What you talking about, Jerry? Tonight is not the night. What Jerry talking about? Jerry, what you talking about, man? But anyway, man. So my thing is, bro, listen, we need a new coach. Bieniemy might be the guy. From what I'm seeing, he might be the guy that is on the short list, but the Saints need an offensive minded coach. Yeah, Jerry, that's what I'm saying. He got to go. Carr got to go, man. He can have that used car, man. He can have that used car.
Used car, I like that one. I like that.
Yeah,
I've been a Derek Carr hater for
Listen.
I've been since he was in Oakland. There you go.
Man. Nah, man, but yeah, ice cream. I see my family member. They like, Dove, you find this? Nah, y'all ain't like I ain't been supporting them, but what I've been saying is don't come on here and just act like he's the sole problem. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of problems with this team, like a defense that still can't stop the run, can't get a pass rush. Let a team drive 95 yards for a touchdown. Come on, man. When that's supposed to be the bread and butter, the heart and soul of the team. I mean, but Derek Carr just awful, man. I mean, I ain't no other way. He's just goddamn awful, man. And for this team to have, he got 6 games left. Do I expect them to beat the Lions? Hell no. Right now, we probably won't have our top 3 receivers against the Lions. So that's an L. It was an L with them. But look, Corey, man, let everybody know, man, your platform where they can find you at, man.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram at Sanchez405. You can find me here on YouTube at On the Warpath, so Washington Commanders podcast. I usually go live during the games. There's been a lot
Okay.
of disappointment, so for a lot of
Join the
people, it's
join the
humor.
crew.
So, yeah,
Join the
so
club.
yeah. So just come on and if you want to wallow in misery, misery loves company. So we'll have a good
Uh,
time, man.
yeah,
We'll have a
man.
good time.
You have a few more minutes, or you need to go right now?
No, I'm good, man. I'm
Are you good?
here.
Man.
I'm here as
All
long
right,
as you
all
need
right.
me.
Well, we're
Yeah.
gonna hang out. We're gonna hang out tonight. Hey, fam, I'm gonna put the link in the chat. If y'all want to come on, is it okay if you might answer a few questions? Would it be
Yeah,
okay?
no, sure,
All right, all right,
absolutely.
family. If you'd like to ask Corey any questions, look, I'm about to put the link in the chat. Let you guys come on and ask Corey a question, because I know a lot of you who won't be into me. You're hearing it here. So
Yeah,
Corey's here to tell you, give you the skinny on being me and how is it going in the national capital.
yeah.
So when the players were complaining about being me, man, what was that really about?
I think it's out of a place of weakness.
Hmm.
This has been a ass backwards organization for the last 20 some odd years. A place where chaos is ran, hard work's not appreciated. It's just if you're a name, you're everything here. It's not the effort that you put in. And I
Gotcha.
think that's one of the things that Ron Rivera's tried to kind of weed out. But when you have somebody like Dan Snyder as the owner, that kind of it leaves that residue that you have to get out of there. I think with EB, he came in here, he knows how to run. He was the warden in Kansas City. And
Right.
you look at what Kansas City's doing now on their offense, and they look like they're struggling. They
Right.
look like
They do.
they're missing something. They need an asshole. That's exactly what they need to be in there. And that's what EB is. EB is that unfiltered jackass that you need on your team. He is the bad cop.
Right.
And that's no negative to him, but I think that you have to have some balance. You got to have good cop. Yeah, it's like watching Remember the Titans, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
exactly like that
Yeah.
with Coach Boone and the other coach, and
Right.
he kind of come in there and embrace him, but Coach Boone was like, "I will come up and I will
Yeah.
kick you in your John Hine Potts." And everything. That's
Right.
exactly what it is. You need that balance, and I don't think that the players on this team, some of them, I'm not saying all of them, are
Right.
used to that hard coaching and then being tough and trying to give maximum effort. It's just
Gotcha.
like okay has been the standard for 20 some years, and it's like, hey, if we just do it, it's okay. We'll ho hum about it. So to that, I do give Bieniemy a whole lot of credit because he kind of weeded out a little bit of that weakness, and we kind of saw that with
Hmm.
that 2-0 start. So
Right. 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 All right, fam. The link is in the chat if you want to come on. Come on. While me and Corey here. So, man, let's talk about a little college football, Corey.
uh-oh.
All right. All right. Championship weekend, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. First game up. We got big game up is Friday night in the Pac-12.
Whew.
The final season of the Pac-12, which is crazy to say. That's man, times have changed. Number 5 Oregon against number 3 Washington. Um, do you like Washington's quarterback? Do you think his skill set translates to the National Football League? I myself I think he's too robotic.
Mm-hmm.
I think he still needs grooming as far as going through his progressions and reading defenses.
Mm-hmm.
I think if he's thrust into action, soon as he gets into the league, he'll be a one read and take off quarterback.
Yeah, I think with that, it's like real estate, right? It's all about location, location, location. Who can take Penix to the next level? Who can work with him? Is there a young offensive mind that you want to pair him with and a new that's new to the city? Because he's gonna be the franchise guy. when he comes in there if he goes in this draft. I think he needs to clean up a couple of things. Yeah, of course. I think Oregon's got a good defense, and they almost had him a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think what Bo Nix has kind of thrusted himself into this Heisman race and everything like that.
It's not a race.
It's not. I don't know.
Not a race.
Jaden Daniels, man. Jaden Daniels,
Awesome.
Jaden
Listen,
Daniels, he could, man.
the only reason it's not unanimous because LSU's defense this season has been dumpster juice. and I'm being kind. Straight dumpster juice. This kid passed for 4,000 yards, leads the team with rushing with over 1,100 yards.
Mm-hmm.
He does it all. Listen, his freshman year, he knocked Oregon out the college playoff. And remember, he's had NFL coaching before because when he started, Herm Edwards was his coach up there at Arizona State.
That's right.
The kid, he listen, and some of the dimes that he dropped last week, throws he made, those were NFL throws. I think this kid, man, is going to be special, but he needs to go to a team that's not going to immediately throw him out there. I think he needs to go to a team where he's able to sit behind a veteran for that first season or for the majority of the season, and then you ease them into it. Learn how to build pro, learn the speed of the game, understand that the windows in the NFL are not like college, they're not wide open.
Right.
A window in the NFL is a player is actually covered and you have to throw them open. So that's where accuracy comes in. But yeah, I think Jalen Daniels is the front runner. Who are your top 4 Heisman candidates right now?
Oh, I don't know if I had top 4. I mean, I know Nix is in there. Daniels is in there for me. Penix was in there for a while, and the kid from Oklahoma, but they've kind of fallen off lately. I mean, I think you also got to throw in Marvin Harrison Jr. In that conversation. But really, I think it's to that two Daniels and Nix right now, and especially if Nix wins on Friday night. I think he may lock it up, and they could impact because Oregon's good squad, and we do.
Right.
I have we do a radio show here locally, and we have this college eliminator where we got to pick 4 teams. It's 3 of us. We pick 4 teams, and we follow them throughout the year, and we can make changes and all this good stuff. But it's who gets to the college football playoff and everything. And Oregon's been one of my teams, so I've been kind of watching them over the last few weeks because I think Oregon is doing what we thought USC was going to pretty much do and be in there threatening. And now we've got like Caleb Williams. It's no reason why Caleb Williams shouldn't have been in the conversation, but it's like he hit some kind of weird wall. Kind of like Deion Sanders in Colorado they hit some weird wall in the middle of the season. I don't know if it was the time change or the harvest moon or what, but these boys, they just fell off. Caleb started
trenches.
Yeah.
Deion, that's what it is for Deion. Trenches. Ain't got no dogs in the trenches.
No, he don't. And then you had also Caleb Williams, he's lost his mind crying to mama and everything like that. Ain't nothing wrong with crying to mama, but people gonna turn that into a narrative, and
they already have.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's why he should have came on last year.
Yeah,
because all he really did was hurt his stock. Now he's not. He may not even be. First, he was the consensus number 1 overall pick. It was tank for Caleb. Now with this season's performance, his stock is dropped. To me, he's the same player. Okay. No, they're not in a college football playoff. They're not playing for a national championship. But has his skill set diminished? I mean, he still everybody coming into the NFL as a quarterback has some flaws, have things that they need to work on and improve at. I think this is going to be one of the better classes of quarterbacks coming out. I think it's deep. Bo Nix, I watched him when he was in the SEC, and now he's at Oregon doing his thing. I could see Bo Nix as who was a good Ron Fitzpatrick.
Oh
I can see
Lord, really?
I could see him
Ah,
as a Ron Fitzpatrick,
okay.
a borderline starter, but a top backup in the National
Yeah,
Football League. I
okay.
could see him as a Ron Fitzpatrick.
That's
What's your
fair.
thoughts? What's your thoughts on that?
I like that comp. I mean, I know he's not fast like Tannehill is,
Right.
but I feel like he could follow a similar path of a Tannehill, right? He might not make it with the first team, but maybe he gets around a team that's got a good running back, got a good
Gotcha.
defense, and he can be a serviceable starter in this league. Because we've seen like sometimes serviceable can work. And I mean, how many of these players can say they went to an AFC Championship game?
Right.
Some of these top tier quarterbacks.
Can't say it. Yeah. And in the first meeting, let me get that up there for us. In the first meeting, Oregon and Oregon and Washington. Now the quarterbacks, man, they was dueling now.
Yeah.
Look at Nick's 33 or 44 for 337 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Penix went 22 or 37 for 302 yards, 4 touchdowns with the 1 INT. Both teams had rushes for had running backs go for over 100 yards. And Franklin was out his mind, 8 for 154. But man, how do you pronounce it? I be chopping up people's last name, man. O'Dooms? O'Dooms?
Odunzi. I think that's
O'Doomsday.
I
Yeah.
think that's how you say that.
O'Doomsday. 8 catches, 128 for 2 touchdowns. Listen, and then I kind of like how they're separated their conference championship game from everyone else's Saturday. So it's Friday. They'll have the national spotlight. And it's going to be bittersweet, man. It's going to be kind of weird, man, not having the Pac-12 next year, man. I mean, Pac-10, Pac-12, and now it won't even exist, man.
Yeah.
Do you like this realignment of college football, or are you one of those who like change but also like tradition also?
I think there's a time. Hey, this is kind of funny. It's parallel. Like when my team changed its name, right? Um, I think there's always room to preserve tradition, but then there's also time to kind of move on. What I think we've seen college football become over the last decade and a half to maybe 2 decades is that it is a money machine, and it's
Yes,
always been about the dollar.
right.
They don't care about they don't care about these players and the pageantry and all this stuff. They just want to
Right.
make the money. And they
Gotcha.
always said that's why I always get people who are college fans that aren't NFL fans and say, well, these players just about the money. I said, what are these coaches for? What's the Nick Saban? Heck, even old boy who's in Matt Rule basically admitted that he's
Right.
like he was looking a little salty in his press conference because he's like a
Mm.
good quarterback's gonna cost you about a
Yeah,
million and a half.
$1 to $2 million. Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
bro, you making you the highest paid public employee in the state of Nebraska. Shut up.
Up. Right, right.
Like, what are you talking about? Because you know what it is? They coming in their pocket and taking it.
Yeah,
And Bruce is like, well, we don't need the best head coach, but we do need these good players right here. Like, dude,
right,
I work at a D2 level school. I know I know what that stuff is what
right.
that stuff is about at a microcosm level. So I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, these tradition. I think it's kind of crappy that you're going to have USC and UCLA in the Big Ten.
The Big
So
Ten.
they're going to be out there on the East Coast in Maryland playing basketball and maybe even possibly football and stuff like that. What they said, like SMU and some other schools are going to be coming. I don't know what the ACC did yet, but
Well, they
it's going to be
added.
weird for the geography.
I think they added SMU,
Mm-hmm.
and who else they added? They added one more team. I forgot. I know they added SMU. For
Did they add
SMU,
Stanford?
yeah, they did. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ACC added
Oh,
Stanford, yeah.
yeah, and that's what when you go fly from the West Coast
Mm-hmm.
to the East Coast, man.
It ain't about student athletes. It ain't
No,
about education. Like
it's about that bread, man.
you can play. They can go play in traffic.
Yeah, exactly, man. So man, Saturday, man, the big game, the big boy league, the SEC. Georgia, Alabama, once again, the
Oh.
rivalry is renewed. Kirby Smart has overtaken Nick Saban, and Georgia is now the standard in the SEC. Now, Alabama's still there, but I think this year's Georgia team, last year, Georgia's team, they had everything offense, defense, they was loaded. This year, I think their offense has been the main source of their success. They do still have a good defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Alabama's quarterback is either feast or famine. Either he's hitting you with a deep shot or he's escaping the pocket with his legs. My key to this game, I believe, for Georgia to be successful is to make him beat them from the pocket, limit the deep throws, and make him be patient. I think if they force him to be patient, I think he'll make some mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
I think Georgia is the more talented team. And I think it'll be a close game, but I think Georgia prevails because they have the better quarterback.
Ugh. I think they got. I mean, every single week, everybody's been counting out Alabama.
Right.
Everybody's been counting out these odds maker. Not the odds maker, but like you look at them, they're ranked 8th right now, and they're on the precipice, and they're in the big boy league, and
Right.
they're ranked 8th behind some of these schools. And then all they've been hearing for the last 2 years is Bama is Georgia this, Georgia that. They went in here and now, like you just said, they kind of taken over. You don't think Nick and them have like kind of looked at that and we're like, yeah, they're gonna be ready for this one.
Man.
I think they might. I think they can sneak in this one and bust their way into the playoffs because nobody has mentioned them up until the last couple of weeks about them get back in the playoffs, and they've had a tough road to host since they lost early in the season to Texas, man.
Man, listen. Auburn's defensive coordinator should be fired. Everybody in the secondary should be
Yeah.
released, should be in the transfer portal. And whoever paid them off, I hope it was worth it. Because there's no way in hell you supposed to get that. What it was, 4-32,
Yeah.
4-30, and you get 30. Come on, man. I mean, some see that's the kind of thing that happens that you have these conspiracy theories out there talking
Yeah.
about it's set up. See, there's no way in hell that's supposed to happen. I'm with them, man. Come on, man. 40-30, they get 30. Come on, man. That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy.
That's
All
Bama.
right,
The tide keep on rolling.
I got you, man. All right, we got our first family member coming on. He's coming on all the way from the West Coast. That's right. He's a Seahawk and he's a Husky and he's a member of the Come On In Sports Network family. Eric Wallace, how you doing? Come on in. What's going on, E? What's up, baby?
Doing all right?
Yeah, we doing good, my brother E. I know you're excited for Friday, E. What's it gonna take for your Huskies to walk away as the final team to be crowned Pac-12 champions?
I don't know, my friend. And actually, in all seriousness,
Mm-hmm.
there's another scenario. I'm also a big Mizzou fan, and to get it, we would have to lose to Oregon. So if we would lose to Oregon and get Missouri and get a Missouri Washington bowl game,
Mm-hmm.
that would be like a dream matchup. But I think probably just keep Bo Nix contained, and we should be okay.
Okay. But E, it sound like you prefer a Huskies loss to get them matched up against Missouri.
Well, no, I mean I'm kind of hopeful because that's my other favorite team. But I mean, deep
Eric,
down, I would
Eric,
love for the Huskies to
E,
win.
you gonna have members of Husky Nation coming after you, man.
Oh yes, so
You
I
gonna have
know,
members of Husky Nation coming after you. You can't
I know.
you
Uh,
can't say that. You know,
I know, brother.
hey,
I know.
hey, they gonna come after you. E. You gotta watch yourself, man. Watch yourself when you go outside, man. Watch yourself now. Gotta be careful with
Oh,
that,
man. So, yeah, how you doing tonight?
man. We doing good, man. How's the weather up there on the West Coast in
It's
Seattle, Washington?
it's getting cold. We might actually get ice tonight, they say.
Woo, keep that there, man.
Okay.
Keep that there. We do not need it in the South, man. We do not
Yeah.
need it, man. So, man,
Yeah.
we got Corey on, man, from On the Warpath podcast, man. You got any question for him about the Commanders or anything, man?
Um. Well, I know Seattle has to play Dallas tomorrow night. I'm honestly, I mean, I'm just looking at it as
It's
an
a L.
NFL guy as opposed to a Seattle guy. I mean, we're gonna need to bring everything that we have tomorrow night to pull this off,
Yeah,
to
E,
make it happen.
if y'all was at home, E, I'll give y'all a chance, bro. But the
No.
Cowboys playing at home, bro. They play with passion, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, it's gonna take Geno playing one hell of a game,
Yeah.
and that defense to limit the Dallas offense. Dak right now has been on the road. I know a lot of people want to say you got to look at the competition he has been playing, but yeah, it's gonna be a tough get for you guys. Not saying
Yeah.
that Seattle's not able to, because listen, you got Lockett, you got Metcalf, you got what is going on with Smith, the young wide receiver, first round pick from Ohio
I
State?
think he's still coming along pretty good. He might be able to. I mean, he's been having some pretty good games, so he might be able to get. I think the real hope is that we have a good game from him. I mean, if we could get a good game from all three of them, that would be like a dream scenario if that could happen.
Right.
And then,
Yes, sir. My thing is, I think you guys are going to need a big game from Kenny Walker the third. I think you guys are going to have to try to establish the running game to keep that explosive Cowboys offense on the sidelines. And if you guys getting obvious passing situations, then you guys got to deal with Parsons, man. And that kid can wreck a game, man. To me, he's
yeah,
one of the top five players in all of the National Football League. I
yes,
think I believe in that kid that much. I think he's that special. So Kenny Walker the third and Shaw Burnett, man. I think you guys got a pretty good 1-2 punch, man.
yeah.
In your opinion, what is it going to take for you guys to pull the upset and pretty much shock the NFL nation?
Well, I think the first step is, but we cannot because we have the back end with San Francisco right after this game. So
Mhm.
the first step is we cannot be automatically thinking about San Francisco. We got to focus on Dallas first.
Hi, I'm Amanda. We
Hold
set up.
on, sorry about that. Go ahead, Ian. I apologize.
Yeah, we got to focus on Dallas first before we worry about San Francisco. What's up, Jerry?
Yeah, okay. Oh, family crazy. All right, E, before we got your last words, before we let you go, man.
No, I'm good.
I,
I'm
I
good,
mean,
pal.
you have a good night, bro. And thank you for being here.
No problem. Have a good night, buddy.
All right, my friend. Oh man, that's funny, man. Hey, Uncle Jerry, bro, you ain't gotta do E like that. Come on, man. Oh man, family members crazy, man. All right, man. This game here, I think, has the potential for the biggest upset of the day. Louisville just lost a stunner to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Florida State found a way to get past Florida. I think this is that game. I think Louisville pulls the upset, man. I
I
think
wouldn't
Louisville
disagree.
pulls the
I don't
upset.
disagree with you on that one because that's one of the teams in my little eliminator poll. I was saying,
Okay.
yeah, I got them. I got Alabama, Oregon, and and America's team on there too. So
Okay.
yeah, I think Louisville. I think they got a shot. I think they bounce back after losing that Commonwealth Cup game against Kentucky at home, and I think they take it to. I think they take it to the Seminoles, where the quarterback is out and everything. So
Right.
I think Louisville can do it.
Which group of 5 team you see has the best shot of making the New Year's Six game?
Oh boy. Oh gosh, I would say there you go, right there. I think Tulane can do it again.
I think Tulane can do it again.
I think Tulane can do it again. And I mean, we saw that led up to the whole billing of the whole
Right.
thing last year when they upset USC.
Yeah.
So I'm a man who, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Give me Tulane, give me the Green Wave. I think they got a shot to jump up in there.
Right. And right now, Michael Pratt, last season he's graduating, and he has stated right now. Well, he hasn't stated whether he's going to enter the draft or not, but it was mentioned today, and shout out to Cover Three podcast, that if Michael Pratt was to enter the transfer portal, he'll be the number one player. He'll be the number one quarterback sought after. Now, if I'm a big Tulane fan, grew up there on campus, have family members that worked there for decades, my mother and everybody included. Man, Pratt's special. If Pratt he's Tulane's all-time leader in passing yards, and and the kid he has that it factor about him. He's tough as nails. 2021 they go to Oklahoma. They're displaced. He comes up half a yard short of picking up a first down to keep the drive alive. They were trying to upset Oklahoma. Then last year, of course, they have that great season. They make history, go from 2-12 to 12-2, make the Cotton Bowl, upset USC in one hell of a game.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes right back this year and picks up where he's left off. He's been dealing with some injuries this year, but he's still throwing 21 touchdowns with 4 intercepts. But the game that showed me that Tulane had improved as far as athlete wise was against Ole Miss. The final score was 31-17, but Pratt didn't play in that game.
Mm-hmm.
That game was 17-17 with about 8 minutes and some change in that game before Ole Miss eventually pulled away to win that game. A lot of people thought Tulane was coasting through the season because they're barely winning games. They barely got past Tulsa. But last week against UTSA, they got some injured players back and they were able to put them away. But SMU, man, SMU has been averaging 40, damn near 50 a game, man. But they lost their starting quarterback last week.
Whew.
So now that's the thing, man. That's going to be a big challenge for the young man coming in, though he's very athletic, has a strong arm. It's going to be a tough task for the Mustangs. But if anybody can get them, man, is SMU, man, because they can score.
Yeah.
They can score.
It'll
Now,
be a high scoring game.
it's going to be exactly. It's going to be a high scoring game. Now let's talk NFL, and I ain't. But let's talk about the game of the week in the NFL, man. Game of the week, rematch NFC Championship. Corey, who you got and why?
I thought you were talking about us in Miami. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want.
No,
Hey, y'all playing? Hold on, y'all playing in Miami?
No, we playing in Washington.
Oh, okay, because at home they averaging 40 a game. Well, then
they dropped.
The Raiders actually played a hell of a game against
They
them.
did. They had good defense. Antonio Pierce, a former Redskin,
yes,
leading the way for him. But I think Philadelphia. I despise Philadelphia with everything in my being. I can't stand that idiot face coach of theirs. I hate rooting against Jalen Hurts because he's such a good dude.
Right.
But I think at the end of the day, I think the time is coming. I think San Francisco extracts a little bit of revenge. I think this is going to be a little bit of a low scoring game. Especially Brock Purdy's healthy now,
Right.
unlike he was like he wasn't in that championship
NFC
game.
Championship.
So I think San Francisco, just out of pettiness, I think San Francisco wins that game.
Yeah, a lot of people feel Frisco is back on track now. They had that little hiccup. And I'm gonna ask you this because I asked this Sunday on our pregame show. Do you think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback, or is he just a product of the system, a so-called system quarterback? And I have my thoughts about that same system quarterback.
I think it's the Shanahan effect. I think you look at the running backs that Mike Shanahan had in his system, and probably the best running back he had. I might be biased as Clinton Portis, and then maybe Terrell Davis was. But you look at Mike Anderson, Ronnie Hill, and some of these guys that they had as running backs and stuff that went for 1,000 yards. They weren't that great. But you look at the quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan has brought in here and made them look functional. Jimmy G, you take Jimmy G out of San Francisco, he's just another dude. You look at Brock Purdy, right? Mr. Irrelevant. He's turned into one of the best things going in the NFL since he took over the reins in San Francisco. So I think he is a product of the system. But you got to also think that and they've got some massive weapons. And let's keep it honest, too, from Debo to Ayuk to Kittle. That offensive line anchored by Trent Williams. They've got the affirmative action in the backfield with Christian McCaffrey.
Mitchell.
Mitchell as well. They've got all these household names and appliances, and I mean, they do it. They just let him come in there, and he just has to be a body there, but he has to have some wherewithal about him too. And he was a good quarterback at Iowa State too.
Yeah, he was.
Let's not discredit him there, but I do think he's a good quarterback. But the thing is that he's getting his time and he's gaining his confidence, and he could be, and with that and those talented players on that offense and Kyle Shanahan and company, that they could turn him into a great quarterback.
Right. I think no matter what the system is, if the player is not good and has the skills to run that system, understand that system, be accurate, be decisive. I don't think it's totally just the system. Because if shout out to my brother Nonfiction of Real Fan Sports, like he said, every quarterback is in a system. If you think about it, everybody has a system. So every quarterback is a system quarterback, even if the system is built around that player's talents, which it should be. But sometimes you have coaches that try to put a square peg in a round hole, and it ain't gonna work because they're stubborn and don't want to cater their offense to the talent of their players. But I think Brock Purdy, listen, he leads the NFL in a lot of categories, completion percentage, I believe, in a couple more. I think he's for real. And he could be the modern day version of Tom Brady, in my opinion.
Ooh, okay,
you know what I'm saying?
All right.
I'm just saying, 6th round pick, and he missed the last pick of the draft, so he ain't doing nothing to discourage it. I mean, listen, you had those not real 49er fans jumping off the bridge and jumping off the ship when they went through that 3-game losing streak, wanting to get rid of the kid. Some even called for Sanchez. They need to be slapped. So
hey man, we leave my cousin alone. Man, we gotta leave my cousin alone.
Man,
leave Marky Mark alone.
Oh my God, man, he ain't been the same since the AFC Championship game with the Jets.
The butt fumble.
Oh yeah, man. I mean that just done it, man. But look, Corby, one last thing before we get out of here, man. Do you like the NBA in-season tournament, man? What's your thoughts on that, man?
What is it? I don't get what's the end all to it. Like, the only thing I know is that we're gonna have this great pregame with Barkley and Kenny and Shaq and Steven
Kansas.
and Stephen Naismith and Michael Wilbon. Like they are setting this up to be some expert analysis. I just want to put Stephen A. and Charles Barkley right beside each other.
Man, yeah.
I mean, that's gonna be hilarious if they do
Yeah.
that. But I just don't get it because my Wizards suck, so it don't really matter to me. We can't, we score like 115 points a game, but we give up like 130. Yeah,
Wow.
130. Yeah. We just lost to who do we lose to tonight? Orlando, 139 to 120. So
Wow.
you can't make that. I just want to know what they win. Do they get a trophy, or is it just for the players to get the money, or do they get
Well,
some?
they get money. They get money, and they get a trophy.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean they're doing it to try to drum up interest in the early season of the NBA because let's face it, nobody really started paying attention to NBA to the Christmas game. Really, January after, or
Right.
really after the Super Bowl.
The All-Star game,
right?
probably,
But I think it's a good idea. I like what they're doing. Puts more emphasis on some of the games, and now the damn color rush coats that they be playing on.
God.
I don't know who came up with that, but that shit is too loud, man.
Shoot, what is it? Chicago? Do you see Chicago's was all bright red and everything? I thought I was about to have a seizure watching that on my phone. I was like, great day in the morning. What are y'all doing?
All right, man. Well, look, Corey, once again, my brother, thank you for being here. And before we get out of here, once again, my brother, let the family members know where you're located, where they can find you at.
Yeah, appreciate it again, Dolph. You can find me on the Warpath here on YouTube, and then at Sanchez405 on Twitter and Instagram, and that's usually where I put a lot of my content is here on YouTube, and then on Instagram and the X or Twitter is whatever you want to call it.
I just called it Twitter X, man.
Yeah, Twitter X.
Twitter X, bro. Oh, that X, man. Twitter X, man. Man, listen, it's been a pleasure, my brother. Listen, you family, bro. You're welcome back anytime, man.
Yes,
anytime you want to pull up, please feel free to do so. Listen, family, I'm here to remind you that tomorrow night is Who That Nation United Thursday. It kicks off with the Know the Bros, followed by the one and only Hooded Jube, and yours truly, Dolph 17, and the legendary Coach Rock on the Keeping It Real Who That Sports podcast. We go close it out, and then Sunday. Oh, family Sunday. Get your drink ready. Get your blood pressure medicine ready. Just don't throw the remote at the TV and break your TV because you're going to have to go out and buy you another one. Find something to do. Have something planned to do after the game. Because right now, we all know it ain't looking good. The Saints take on the Lions on the Fox game of the week. Now listen, the Lions ain't necessarily they have shown some kinks in their arm the last few weeks. I mean, listen, they just got last week by Green Bay. So, but I think that'll make them more focused. You got Dan Campbell coming back home, former tight ends coach with the New Orleans Saints, assistant coach. He's coming back. So listen, it's gonna be a tough battle for the Saints, especially with the horrible, terrible, inconsistent, being consistently inconsistent team that has taken the field all season. But listen, we'll be there to call all the action and join us for the kickback. Matter of fact, Corey, that's what I want to do, bro. I want to invite you, say it Sunday, bro, to join us for the kickback, man. On the kickback, it's just what it is. We come in, there's no holds barred, man. We come in cussing, fussing, or laughing. It don't matter who your team is. Everyone's invited, man. Come get it off your chest, man. We got comedians that being here in the family, bro. Man, you'll have a good time, bro. So, man, listen, come on in. If y'all lose to the Dolphins or if y'all win, bro, just come on in.
When we lose to the Dolphins, I know if was a fifth, we all be tore up if that was the case.
Yes, sir. But man, listen, again, thank you for being here, my brother. I look forward to it, man.
Yes, sir.
Have a blessed evening, my brother. And to everybody at home, I'm Dolph 17. That's Corey from On the Warpath podcast, and we'll see everybody later. Have a good night, family. We out.
Come in Sports Network.
With your host, Dolph 17.